The Terrifics number 3, Jeff Lemire and Joe Bennett on the art. Ivan Reis couldn't even do 3 issues.
It's becoming like a bit of a you know how you have your Buffy gag. This is my thing. That this line cannot keep artists. What is going on with this shit? Come on.
I mean, it's worth to say. I mean, the art's fine. It's not bad art.
It's not bad art. It's just, oh man, not even 3 issues.
It's just funny.
We're not getting 3 issues of this. We're not getting 3 issues of Shayna.
The artist focused line, because it's Bennett as well, right? That's just doing the 6th issue.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So it's coming back round.
Yeah.
So the Terrifics are still trapped at Stag's Industry, and they're going to be trapped there for a while. He's like, you can't leave. All your tech's here, and blah 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 blah. And that's kind of the setup. There's a lot of fun stuff. Plastic Man was cracking me up. At one point, when Stag's daughter's like, "Oh, Rexy, we have to go catch up," or whatever it was, and Plastic Man just makes this big heart come out of his chest, like, "Oh yes, Rexy."
Yeah.
Just good stuff. It's really like establishing the characters. It's establishing that Phantom Girl really wants to get home and contact home, and Terrific still being a bit of a stubborn prick, and he's like, no, one problem at a time, no time for rest, because they have this big war wheel attack. It's one of Stag's tech, and they're not really sure who activated it. That's like a mystery for the future. But Terrific's accusing Stag saying, Terrific, you're the one who probably set it off when you were tinkering with things. But they fight that. There's fun stuff. Of course, going back to this reference or kind of parodying Marvel things, the Hardball special cannot be ignored, where Plastic Man forms a giant slingshot and Metamorpho becomes a rock to be launched. Which actually, in the little touch that I really loved, is that he launches through Phantom Girl.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, there's a little touch to add onto it. While she's because obviously everything she touches when she's tangible explodes, so she's like exploding the guns on this big murder wheel.
Yeah,
as it's going on. So no, fun action, very pulpy again, which is what I love about the book. There's a interlude scene that's setting up a future arc where a very demonic looking version of Metamorpho is causing chaos in another city.
Yeah, I have to say I was not a fan of this interlude. It felt really jarring to just.
So not the content itself, just the way it was.
Yeah, like, I get what it's doing. The meanwhile, the whole thing that they're doing there. I get it. I just don't think it plays that well. Like what it's actually in it is fine. I'm sure it'll be a fun arc to get there.
It's funny because it did take me aback a little bit because it's weird to see now, but at the same time, given how pulpy and Silver Age this feels, it did feel very Silver Age to do this. In this, but this is a story for a different time, dear readers. Let's go back to the main action.
Yeah, I think it's weird to say meanwhile that this is happening simultaneously. That's the implication there. So
I assume that's the next arc because they'll find out that it's happening in the next issue.
Probably, but it was just really weird for me the way it played.
That's fair. It didn't bother me, but I get it. I get that it feels weird. I kind of like the Silver Age kind of aspect of it, but
I get it. I think it's a little bit jarring.
Yeah, but So obviously at the end, like Terrific's determined. He's analyzing this Tom Strong footage, and he's like, I'm going to figure out who you are and how to save the world. Meanwhile, the rest are actually bonding a little bit because they've actually agreed to go get some food, even though Phantom Girl can't eat yet. But she's like, no, that's fine. A rest would be good. And they're going off to get some food. And hell, even because obviously Plastic Man and Rex have been bickering constantly. Basically, I mean, there's some fun stuff during the fight where Plastic Man's like, "Hey, Terrific, would it kill you to say please?" And then Rex is like, "Would it kill you to shut up for a minute?"
And he wants to call them the Plastics.
Call them the Plastics. He's like, "Go Plastics, go!" Like, no, we're not doing that. I don't know how Terrific's going to get across that they should call themselves the Terrifics, because that's essentially in the same way that the Plastic Man wants to call himself the Plastics is very vain from his point of view.
It is, and that's probably my biggest critique with this issue is I feel like I don't know I'm not feeling the cast bonding to they're not quite there yet. And they're not quite bouncing off each other as much as I want them to. It feels a little forced still to me.
I don't know. I'm liking the bouncing off. Well enough.
That's fair. Like certain things feel like nice, but other time I'm like, it's kind of just there because it is.
No, I feel like by the end of the issue, the three that aren't Terrific have bonded. Not super friends yet or anything like that, but by any means. But
it's getting there, but it's not. I don't know. It's still not quite working for me. I will say as well, my real criticism though is Terrific, because he feels a bit out of character to be this much of a dick. And I get that they're going for the Reed Richards thing. I
Well,
get that.
I mean, I feel we'll get more of that as we go on. Just to go back to the whole thing when it's not working yet for you, I feel like I don't want it to be any faster than this, though. I actually kind of like the pace of which they're bonding in this.
Fair enough. I think it's just certain things aren't playing quite as nicely in the issue. Like just certain lines are kind of falling flat for me.
Well, no, I'm not feeling that. I had a giant smile across my face pretty much this entire issue. I think even the scene with Rex, where he kind of puts his foot in his mouth, where he's arguing with Staggs' daughter about like, oh, I should leave and your dad's an asshole and so on. Like, that was probably my least favourite scene of the issue. It was definitely the least funnish scene of the issue. But even that, like him like sort of beating himself up about it and stuff, I got the sort of like the big friendly giant vibe from it, and I was kind of into it in that sense.
Fair enough. I'm thinking, more when what's her name comes and visits Terrific. When he's down figuring stuff out, and she's like, I want to contact my home player. Like all this sort of bit here just feels a bit off to me.
All right, I didn't feel it, but
It's not the worst. It's just starting to. I'm noticing it as I'm going on.
yeah, I mean, I still love this issue. I'm still super. This was the third thing I read. It was Flash Detective. This.
Fair enough.
So
this was the last thing I read, but that was not. I don't really have the same mentality as you in terms of I read the exciting thing first. I can kind of just read them at my leisure.
Okay. No, I'm still super on board with Terrifics. It's still the fun pulpy book alongside the other stuff. Where Flash is doing all this, big emotional Speed Force, timey wimey, possible breaking reality stuff. Detective's doing my hard hitting kind of Bat Family story.
Yeah.
Terrifics is just this nice pulpy side tray that goes along with it, just nice. So I'm into it.